All right, boys and girls, welcome to the first podcast of 2021. And I have a very familiar face. In this case, it is Faster Living. I believe this is our second or third podcast. Hey, man. Welcome to another podcast, man. How are you? I mean, how was Christmas? How was New Year? How was 2021? And how was the whole COVID situation?
Yeah, man, it's all good. We're all healthy. We're all safe. That's all that matters. But now it's good to be here. And I'm ready to talk cars with the main man.
Hell yeah. And when we say cars, today is a little bit different, isn't it? We're going to be talking about a certain fruit company or like about an apple. But Apple, not the actual fruit, not like the Granny Smiths, whatever they call them. This is actually the Apple company. And there has been all kinds of rumors on the internet sphere about Apple apparently making their very own car. So we're going to dive deep and try to analyze information and try to figure out if this is actually going to happen or not, right? That's what we're going to do. And also, I just want to say your set looks lit today, man, compared to the last time. Like the lighting looks good.
I'm using very high-end lighting setup. Definitely not using just some lights from my bedside table.
Oh yeah, you got a light cube.
Well, last time I was on this podcast, I got shamed for bad equipment, so had to step my game up at least a little bit.
Nah, seriously, man, that lighting is so good. Like, and it's very even almost. It's very homely. It's literally, I feel like you're sat right next to the Queen at Buckingham Palace, next to her corgi dogs and Prince Philip. It's like, that's what it looks like you are. It's like, it's very, very good lighting. It's a very good framing as well. And the audio is definitely a massive improvement as well from the last time.
Awesome. So, well, hopefully this one goes better than the last one when it comes to tech.
Yeah, hell yeah. So before we get started, let's start with your social media. So obviously you're Faster Living. You are known in social circles to be like a supercar or luxury car royalty, pretty much. So tell everyone exactly what you do.
So I think that's quite a big introduction, but not so much me personally. Yeah, I started a car page back in 2017. It's grown to quite a large community of people that are very much.
No. Come on, man. Let's not be modest here. How many followers do you have on Instagram right now? As of like today, the 9th of January, 2021.
It's a very lucky number for myself. So it's 3 sevens. It's 777. 777,000.
So you literally got 777,000 diehard followers on Instagram.
Yes, sir.
That's insane. That's literally an army. You got an army of people feasting on the content that you post out every day. So like, for those who don't know, what kind of content do you post?
It's mainly supercars, some sort of high performance cars, some resto mod cars. We do have some singers we post every now and then. Stuff like didnt works, Porsches, I love. But the way I see it is like I'm the curator of an art gallery. I just put stuff on my page that I find really cool, that I think people who visit the page will find really cool. And yeah, man, we just try to show the love to everyone, to photographers, to videographers, because this wouldn't be possible without them. So yeah, man, it's a big community. And the only reason we are where we are is because of awesome people supporting us and sending us their pictures, sending us their videos. Yeah, man, it's been going well.
See, while we're talking about it, I may as well show you guys like his page in it. Look, like he was saying, basically 777. So 777, the lucky number, with a key letter here being the K. Okay, that's 777 souls, right? Following Faster Living, and you can see here the kind of stuff that he posts. Woo! I like this.
Yeah, this one's very interesting, right?
Yeah, I do like that.
And that's actually the same company. I know we're talking about the Apple car today, but that is the same company that Coach built a Tesla wagon.
Wow.
So they built a Model S wagon, and this is a Rolls-Royce shooting brake.
I do like this. It's like I want to see a Rolls-Royce like this. That is definitely very, very cool.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, man. So yeah, just that's all we do, man. We share cool, interesting stuff that maybe you wouldn't normally find that easily. Like, there's a Pagani on the wall.
Where is that? Where is that up again?
middle. Oh, you scroll past it.
Oh, is
It's
it?
in between the
Uh,
Ferrari and the
oh, this one
Porsche.
here. Yeah, bloody. Oh my God. I need that in my studio, like right here. That is so freaking cool. I mean,
Yeah.
what?
So this
You
is
might be
of a
balling,
guy.
but are you?
He's a racing driver, and he put a Pagani Zonda shell in his Miami penthouse.
That shell probably costs more than most houses, right?
Yeah, definitely costs
That
more
is, I
than
mean,
my house.
that is a crazy centerpiece. Imagine like coming to this guy's house and you're like, yeah, I got this really cool Monet painting, whatever. And then you come to his house and you see this. It's like, damn, that is as baller as it gets.
Yeah, that's balling.
That is wild. I want to go to this guy's house. I want to check this out. It's freaking amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty
Wow.
dope.
Whoa, is that a bedroom as well?
Yeah, so it's a room divider, essentially.
Oh my God. Oh man, I am sold. That is Jesus.
Yeah, it's
What does
pretty
this
dope.
guy's girl look like? that's oh my God. That is, yeah, that is super cool. That's very, very
That's what
yeah,
we're trying
I'm
to go
definitely
for. We
feeling
try
that.
to post stuff that's cool. We try to post stuff that's beautiful, stuff that people find interesting. And yeah, that's all it is, man.
We want to talk about something quite there's been all kinds of rumors, right? And for me, this whole rumor started actually, is it last week or the week before, when Mr. Elon Musk, Mr. Tesla himself, Mr. SpaceX, Mr. Boring Company, basically he made a tweet. Actually, let me show you guys what that tweet actually looks like before we get started.
Oh,
You can
that's
see that, yeah?
fancy. Yeah.
Yes.
That looks
So
good.
basically, Elon Musk, right, made this tweet. I don't know what the date was. It was definitely, I think it was in December 22nd. He said, right, during the darkest days of the Model 3 program, I reached out to Tim Cook to discuss the possibility of Apple acquiring Tesla for 1/10 of our current value. He refused the meeting or to take the meeting. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, seriously? I mean, like, that is nuts when you think about it. Tim Cook did not even take the call and entertain it. How do you feel about
Yeah,
that?
that's crazy because when you think about it, when I initially saw the tweet, I was thinking like, beginning of Tesla, kind of the days of the first Roadster. But then I read that it's the Model 3, which means that was like relatively recently. So that was really surprising. I don't know, man. I mean, I'm not a CEO of a Fortune 500 company. I'm not a CEO on one of the biggest companies in the world, like Apple. I don't know where that decision possibly could have came from. I mean, it's very interesting. Perhaps Tim Cook has already, he was obviously probably aware of the plans of them making a car in the future. So maybe for them, with whatever roadmap they have mapped out for their car, it made no sense to acquire Tesla. Perhaps he thought maybe Tesla was overpriced. I don't know, because there's two different sort of thoughts when it comes to Tesla, right? Some people say they're undervalued and saying that there's so much more potential that the company has, and others are saying that the stock is bloated. And again, I'm an absolute noob and I'm not a financial advisor, so I wouldn't know which one is correct. But maybe that was one of the reasons. Again, for us, it's we can only guess. What do you think?
Maybe they thought, you know what, man? We got everything we need here. We don't need Tesla. Why do we need Tesla? There's no smoke without fire, right? There's just way too many rumors online for Apple not to be working on something.
This says that it's the Model 3 program. So we
Yeah.
don't even know when that would have been. Was it at the planning stages of the Model 3? Was it when they started manufacturing them? There's a lot of parameters here that we don't know, and there's a lot of factors that we can't really predict other than guess. It's pretty significant because I mean, Elon Musk isn't some amateur entrepreneur starting his first business. When Elon Musk calls you, you would normally answer just to sit down and have a meeting, no matter what it's about, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it was something personal that Tim Cook had against Elon. I mean, again, that's not for us to guess.
you might have a point with that because as I was doing my research and all that stuff, Apple has been poaching a lot of Tesla's actually engineers and stuff like that. So I'm guessing, obviously Apple, like then, because the thing about Apple is like they are working on so many things that you never really know about. Apple was initially talking about some new battery tech, I think for one of the iPhones or something. Then Elon Musk kind of came up with something like, we've been working on these kind of batteries for years. This is nothing new kind of thing. And I just find it quite curious that he found, like, he had to make a tweet like this. Is he feeling threatened by Apple, or does he know something that we don't know about?
I don't think it's the point of him being threatened. I think maybe it's him kind of almost like trying to take a little dig at Tim Cook, saying, I gave you a chance at basically buying us at 10% of our value, and you didn't take it. Every time Elon tweets, you can ask yourself that question, like, why did he tweet this?
He tweets a lot. I gotta admit, out of all the CEOs out there right now, he's the most in touch with his how can I say, with his customers. He's most vocal. He's very, very reachable, and he speaks his mind a lot, including admitting to smoking a certain herb. I don't know if you ever listened to the Joe Rogan show, his podcast.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff came out there as well. He's a very human CEO. He's not very detached from the real public. Not a lot of CEOs would have come up with something like this.
Man, it could just be simple marketing. I mean, this tweet, as you can see, it's got 10,000 retweets. Another 4,000 quote tweets, which means it's got people talking. And I mean, it's got us talking. And it's got us talking about Tesla. So to me, this can even fall in the same category as the Joe Rogan thing that he did, because I think that was clever marketing. The Cybertruck thing that he did, by throwing the metal ball and smashing the window that wasn't supposed to be smashed. Man, I mean, the guy knows how to market his stuff, and shock marketing is his thing. And I don't even think this tweet is that big of a deal, to be honest. I mean, he's not having a go at Tim. He's not really having a go at Apple. One of those things where unless we're Elon or Tim Cook, we're probably not going to know what the true intention was behind the tweet. But at the same time, it's very interesting, especially considering the rumors about the whole Apple car and obviously the Project Titan thing and all of that stuff.
From your point of view, do you actually think Apple is making a car? Are these rumors just like a hot air, or are Apple actually working more on the software control systems on cars? What do you think about that?
See, I think when it comes to software and control systems, from what I know anyway, with my kind of limited knowledge of tech, I'm more sort of, I might know more about the automotive sector. I know a bit less about tech, but from what I know, Apple rarely makes technology that other manufacturers use, or if they do, they make it very clear that it's Apple, right? So it's not much behind the scenes stuff that Apple makes. So for example, when you go into a new car and it has Apple CarPlay, it's very obvious that it's Apple CarPlay, right? It uses the same
even
icon.
from the name as well. There has to be Apple on it. Yeah.
It uses Apple logos on it. It's very obvious that it's Apple, because that's how their branding works, right? They want you to know that it's Apple. Whereas Google with Android, they do a lot of like behind the scenes stuff, right? Like operating systems that you wouldn't even know that it's Google, right? I mean, you only know that Android is Google because you know that Google makes them. But if you don't know that fact, you wouldn't be able to tell. Of course, they integrate all of their apps and stuff like that, but it's not called the Google system. Whereas if Apple makes something, it's always very obvious that it's Apple. The way I would think Apple would go is something that's unique, because that's their thing, right? When they create something new, it's completely unique. So for them making an electric car that was to compete with Tesla, I don't think it would make sense. Because when they brought out the iPod, it looked nothing like other MP3 players. When they brought out the iPhone, it looked nothing like any other phone. It's always a completely unique take on the market. And the way which I think they might be heading is more transportation solutions rather than pure automotive. So if they were to make something, I don't think it'd be a car that you go and buy and you drive yourself and you modify it. I think what would make sense for Apple is to target the part of the market that really want a car that gets them from point A to point B, and that's it. You don't need to worry about anything. So I mean, you don't need to worry about how much power it has. You don't need to worry about the engine. Hell, I don't even know if they'll make you worry about how to drive that car.
When you put it that way, I don't know if I want this feature. That's what I'm saying. Because, Apple is always about like super integrating everything to make everything as easy to use as possible. So I guess if they're going to make a car, like I can kind of see what you're getting with this. Because like you don't have to think about driving. The car like drives itself, picks you up, takes you where you need to get to. And like for me as a car guy, and I guess for you as well, I don't know if I really want that future though. Because I kind of want to drive my own car. I don't want anything drive my car for me. I don't want no AI driving my car. I'm getting my car and driving it myself. That's kind of how I feel. I feel like if Apple gets in this space, they're going to remove all that because for them, that's just too many.
Yeah, they want it as simple as possible, right? Which is why when you pick up an iPhone, it's very intuitive, right? When you pick up an Android device, there's a lot happening. If you're aware of like these little intricacies and how to really, I guess, get the most out of the Android system, it's much better than an iPhone, right? So for someone who's very tech savvy, an Android makes more sense because you can do so much more. But for someone who just wants a phone that does everything they need it to do, and it does it without any friction, without any blow-in, there's not too much happening in the background, you get an iPhone. So same way I think they would approach it with cars, right? If you want a car that's, manual and you need to worry about the tire pressure and you need to worry about, how to really take care of your gearbox and you need to worry about what kind of fuel to put in it, right? You'd get like a manual Porsche. Whereas if you just want a car that does, that allows you to go from point A to point B, then perhaps you get an Apple car. Do you know what I mean? It's not for the enthusiast, but it's for the everyday consumer, if that makes sense.
These are just rumors at this stage, right? So why do you think the rumor is more stronger now than ever before? Why has it taken them this long to, we think, to venture the whole car automotive space?
I mean, it could just be as simple as capital. Just becoming a big enough company where you can afford to do that. Because I mean, I think it took Tesla around 15 years to start making profit. And basically, if Elon didn't have all that money to keep floating the company from his own pocket, which obviously he got from PayPal days, then I don't think he would have been as successful. Obviously, he had investors and stuff like that. But at the same time, he did put a lot of his own money into Tesla. So maybe for Apple, it was a strategic choice. They're like, okay, when we have enough money and we do have enough market share and enough customers and enough brand recognition, then we're going to have a car coming out. But again, this is just me guessing.
Apple is evolving from computers to electronics company. And then I just think Apple finds itself in a place where now they can leverage their technology, hardware, engineering, and all this to make an actual car. What will an Apple car look like? I mean, like, in your eyes, right? How would you describe an Apple car? What would it look like?
See, I think you mentioned something when you were saying the stuff that Apple have, and you mentioned engineering, which is weirdly enough something that I thought about, right? It's like, would they build their own chassis? Would they build their own drivetrain? Would they build their own bodies, interior, all that kind of stuff? That's something that Apple has never done. Like, yeah, they've been creating software for years, but and obviously they are involved very heavily with battery technology. And obviously you mentioned stuff like scanners, which I'm not sure how strong Apple are on them, because obviously in most electric cars, there's not actually cameras that are doing the work. It's more so the sensors.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the tech side. Then do they get the chassis from someone? Do they get a company to make them? How does that all work essentially?
I think Apple is going to use the same strategy they've done since they start making iPods and iPhones and Macs. I think they're going to they'll do all the design work, all the engineering and how everything fits together. And then they'll subcontract that to to a manufacturer. For example, in case of iPhones, they use, I think, is it Pegatron, or like they use all these other companies in Asia where basically they say, look, this is our design. Basically, you guys build it. Yeah. So I'm thinking they're going to design the car and then farm it out to another company to build it for them. I was reading the other day, there's a company in Switzerland, the guys who make the G-Wagons. Basically, G-Wagons, they're not actually built by Mercedes, right? They're actually built by another company in Austria called I think it's Magna. Oh, I think Fisker was built by Magna. Yeah. G-Wagons are built by Magna. So I think Apple is going to adopt the same kind of like approach to building their car. They'll do the designs, you guys make it.
Because if they just outsource it to some, company in Asia to build their chassis or to build, their whole car essentially, other than like the software and the sensors and everything like that, then, is that going to result in loss of quality? Because when you think about it, I think lack of quality is a lot more noticeable in cars than it is in, let's say, devices.
Yeah.
So
Tesla.
for example, if
Tesla's quality is not good.
If someone gives me a phone, right, gives me an iPhone to use for a week that has a chip that's working at 80% of its power, and then gives me an iPhone another week with a chip that's working at 100% of its power, I don't think I'll be able to tell that much difference, right? Whereas if you give me a car with a chassis that's not quite lined up right, I'm definitely going to notice it a lot more than if I had a car with a chassis that's working great. So what I'm trying to say is that with cars, there's so many moving parts that the end user notices that they would need to nail it on the first try for it to work. Like you spoke about certain car manufacturers, they've been making cars for years and they still running into issues. When you think about like McLaren, like there's so many problems that I've been hearing lately with like quality of McLarens and stuff just going wrong. And this is a manufacturer that's made many great cars, including some of the cars that they're making now. So I think that would be a tricky part for Apple. But what I want to kind of circle back to is that I don't think they're going to be making cars the way we see cars now, right? So now we see a car of something like that you own, and you make it your own and maybe even modify it and you change things and you take care of it. I don't think that's going to be the case at all. I think it'd be more of a case of like a transportation device. And that's why I'm not too worried as someone who, who's into cars as a petrol head, because I see it more as just improvement in transportation rather than improvement in cars.
I'm just picturing like vans. When I think about Apple making a car, right? I'm thinking like one of those VW combi vans from like way back in the day. Like they look like they're a loaf of bread on wheels. Those things. I think that's what Apple's gonna make. Like one of those things where they're like literally autonomous. They follow each other. They're gonna like ease congestion. They know exactly what is the shortest route to take from point A to point B. They're gonna be very, very luxurious, obviously comfortable. They'll be able to detect, like, they're going to be a little safety features, for example, of, protecting cyclists, like some kind of crazy air filters. They can probably detect your heart rate to see if you're stressed or not, and then the car will act accordingly, and all these things. That's how I think Apple is going to go. Like, but then again, like before Apple brought out the iPhone, right? Everyone assumed I don't know if you remember that back in the day, they were like making like drawings of what everyone thought the iPhone was going to look like when the rumors are coming out. Yeah. People are literally stitching together like an iPod and the dial-up ring thing on old phones because they thought that's how the phone is going to look. So Apple's very, very, like, they're known for like making you think one thing and then they're going to bring something out completely the opposite of what you thought it was going to be. Because Apple's all about like bringing luxury to, and I know for a fact that when Johnny Ives was still at Apple, when Steve Jobs was still at Apple as well, and I think Phil Schiller is also a car fan as well. Phil Schiller loves Ferraris. Johnny Ives loved Aston Martins, Bentleys, and Rolls Royce and stuff like that. Yeah. And I feel like, because as a first product, they're always quite expensive. Like, for example, the first iPod was like 500 quid, right? Yeah. And then like the first iPhone was like, I think 400 quid. So it's not going to be for everybody, but it's going to be more at the higher end of the market, which is why I think Apple might make maybe the ultimate sports car of some description.
There's actually a funny story about Steve Jobs. He was involved with a company called Next in like late 80s.
Yes. That was his
And
second company after they got kicked out of Apple.
yeah, and basically one day they had an investor coming over to basically discuss a potential investment in their company. And apparently, as the story goes, Steve Jobs last minute remembers something and he runs into like the room with all of the directors are sitting, and he's like, guys, we need to hide the Porsches. So then they all they all run into the parking lot, and they had I think 2 or 3 911s, and they drove it just around the corner. So when the investor comes in, it didn't look like they had a bunch of money. So yeah, I think Steve Jobs was definitely a car guy. Someone that would definitely appreciate cars for who they were. And I think, man, you never know how much involvement he might have had in the project, right? Like you said, maybe it was something that's in the works for decades. They were just waiting.
This
for
is the thing, right? The car industry hasn't changed for literally for almost 100 years. Because I mean, that the gas engine has been around forever, and it hasn't changed that much, to be honest with you. So
yeah,
there's definitely space and scope in there for them to do something. And if any company can do that, I'll bet on Apple probably doing that.
If you go into a room of 50 people, which we can't do nowadays, but let's say you get a random sample of 50 people who all live, let's say, in London, San Francisco, New York, Los Angeles, and you ask how many of them enjoy driving and truly want to drive their cars, I think the percentage would be quite small compared to, let's say, 10, 15 years ago. Because now everyone has the convenience of Uber, everyone has the convenience of Lyft, or even driving assist in their own cars, like Tesla, for example. So I think everyone now is looking for convenience, like your general consumer, because a lot of people don't drive cars because they enjoy driving cars. They drive them because it's a necessity. They drive them because they need to get to a certain place, and there's no alternative way to get in there. I'm not that pessimistic about it, because the way I see it is like it's just an improvement in transportation. It's not really something that I think would affect me as a petrol head. So, for example, now if Stagecoach releases a self-driving bus, that's for the bus drivers to worry about. That's like that wouldn't affect me. In any shape, you know what I mean? So that's how I see it. I see them as being part of the transportation sector rather than purely automotive, if that makes sense. Because I think the whole vibe in Silicon Valley is that ride sharing and like autonomous taxis, that's kind of the future, rather than like consumer based cars, basically. If I'm making myself clear. What scares me is more government pressure and laws and regulations essentially going against the stuff that we like and enjoy. So, for example, now recently, as you know, in London, there's been a lot of pressure on diesel cars. So there's stuff like the ultra low emission zone charge, the ULEZ. There's stuff like, obviously, congestion charge for vehicles. And I think eventually the plan is to push out diesel vehicles completely. And then I think by, I don't know what year it is that they set for.
I think it's they said 2030 or something.
All of the internal combustion engines altogether. So that's what worries me much more than Apple making a car or, any other manufacturer making a car. That's always the biggest problem. It's always going to be the government. Because if Apple makes a car and 99 out of 100 people buy an Apple car, I can still buy whatever else I want. That's not a problem. But if the government tells me that all of a sudden no car can have a V8 engine and drive legally on the road, I can't have a car with a V8 engine and drive legally on the road. Competition in a capitalist society, it doesn't remove choice, essentially. Right? You can have different products and still, like, for example, now Apple has an iPhone, I can have an Android. But if the government tells me that I have to have an Apple device or else I'm not allowed to make calls, I have no choice.
So look, we've been talking about Apple making a car why are we talking about this? I mean, there's a lot of evidence out there. I mean, let me just point you guys to a few of the things that I've seen online. So according to the CNN Business website, So these apparently are the 5 patents that Apple has been putting out there. Are they working on something interesting like a car? So if we go through here, according to this website, Apple has been posting all kinds of car-related patents. They basically have this augmented virtual display system. So what does it say here? This invention could be a big one for Apple, making it easier for people to use their iPads, Macs, or other devices while riding in a car, especially a self-driving one, without getting car sick. You literally just walk in a car and you just sit down and that's it. Forget about driving, forget about everything else. Yeah. So the patent describes a virtual reality system that would help prevent passenger motion sickness by providing augmented or virtual displays correspondent with physical motions, motions that passenger is experiencing. So they're trying to solve a problem of people being sick in their cars.
Yeah, so
while using their devices.
Yeah, it's like, imagine you're looking at your dash, and as you're moving in the car, the dash is kind of going with you. Like the visuals on the screen, maybe it's some kind of eye tracking. But again, to play the devil's advocate, that might not have anything to do with Apple making a car. It might just be like a better version of CarPlay. The
mystery kind of deepens, or there's a plot twist. So climate control and outside a vehicle, in addition to other potential inputs to measure such as data as temperature of car seats or certain passenger body parts. That sounds a bit weird. Let me read that again. All right, let's read that again. It uses sensors inside of the vehicle in addition to other potential inputs to measure such data as the temperature of car seats or certain passenger body parts, or the amount of sunlight radiating on a window or sunroof.
I was gonna say I don't need Siri to tell me that my balls are hot, man.
Oh man. Oh man, so you got climate control for your balls. Oh my gosh. I mean, that is insane, isn't it? It's like, I can understand like during the summer, this could actually be a thing, innit? Because like my Mini Cooper, man, I'm telling you, that thing, it gets kind of toasty in there sometimes. I can see how this could be a useful thing to have. So climate control for your nuts. So that's no other car has that. So that's no other car has that. Oh man. So that was the first clue to Apple making something to do with cars, right? The climate control. Okay, what's the next thing? So here it says a system and method for dynamic privacy and window tinting, but it makes sense in a car as well. So conventional car windows can't adapt the amount of light they let through to factors like who is riding in the vehicle. Interesting. What they're doing or what the weather is like outside. This patent notes and therefore would benefit from many improvements. That's geared towards the passenger, making them the most important thing, not the car. That's what I'm getting. That's the feeling. That's the vibe that I'm getting. So tinted windows, climate control for your nuts. What else? Augmented reality. I mean, it's incredible what they're coming out with here. So method for locating a vehicle. So I can understand like you go to the supermarket, there's a massive car park, you park your car, you forget where your car is. I guess your iPhone or Apple Watch will tell you, by the way, your car's over there. Or you could summon your car to literally come to you to pick you up again.
I remember video demonstrations of Model S coming back to you from a parking garage.
Yeah.
So Elon's definitely got that one figured out. Yeah.
The thing is though, some special sauce to that. They're probably gonna make it like, I don't know, sing to you whilst driving to you, playing your favorite tune, or I don't know, man. It's like they're gonna find an angle to make this extra special and extra juicy. It's like, Tesla, you did this, but we can do better with some kind of crazy tech. I don't know, but that's one thing. But what he says here is the minutes, possibly hours of wandering the car park or car parking garage when you forget where you left your car. I mean, come on, man. Have you had that problem?
Actually, no, never.
Yeah, like
I never forget where I park.
Before I leave it, like when I walk and I kind of look at it, and I figure out where I am, so I know how to get back. So yeah, I don't know, but maybe if you're
There's
old and you're forgetful, whatever.
do you know that saying that if you never look back on your car when you park it, you bought the wrong car.
You know what,
So
man?
clearly you
I
got the right
completely
car.
agree with that. My neighbor, right? She bought a Kia Picasso, wherever it is. She never looks at it. She parks the car, just walks off. I'm like, what the hell, man? Just like just before I get to my house, I look at it. It's like
Yeah.
it's a habit that I do, but she never looks at her car,
Cool.
man. Yeah, Kia Picasso Glamour is the name. So yeah.
It's glamour. Yeah, that makes it so much better. I thought it was just a simple Kia Picasso. Now that you said it's glamour, it's basically a Rolls Royce. Sorry, I take everything back.
She doesn't even love her car, to be honest with you. She does actually like it, but she
Well,
drives it
if
for convenience.
if she likes it, then who are we to talk, right? It's her car.
Exactly. So for her, it's a convenience thing. It's a car that takes her from A to B. That's all she cares about. Well, I
That's
just spend a lot of money on petrol.
That's the user base for what Apple is going for. I'm telling you, if they are building a car, that's what they're building it for.
So
Yeah.
charging station with passive alignment mechanism.
Oh,
That is interesting. What does that even mean? So most of us are familiar with the annoyance of having to get out of the car to get gas when it's raining. Okay, that's definitely a problem. What if with an electric vehicle, you didn't have to exit the car to plug it in? That's what Apple's aiming to enable with this invention. There you go. Another pain point eliminated. Go to the gas station, the car stops, it will charge itself. Once it's done, it drives off. Job done.
Tesla has actually done something very similar. This is a prototype that Tesla had released 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Yeah, look. So if you watch it, look at the charger.
That is cool.
Yeah, how dope is that?
That's just like, where's the hole? Where's the hole? Oh, there it is. Oh man, that's very, very cool.
That audio sounded all kinds of wrong, man.
Oh god damn it. Oh man, yeah, found a hole. Tesla, what are you doing? But look, one thing that I was thinking about, right? Will Apple's car have the Apple logo on it? How do you feel about that?
I'd say yeah. If I had to put my money on it, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's their company, unless they create a subdivision for purely automotive stuff, which is also possible. But I think Apple's whole thing is branding, and they want their brand on everything. And if they create in something as unique as a car, then yeah, it's definitely going to have an Apple logo on it.
Saying that though, the new Apple AirPod Max, right? The overhead headphones that just came out. There's no Apple logo on it anywhere. So
Yeah, because-
could that be a clue to what Apple's going to be doing with the car? Because I can't imagine seeing a half-bitten apple and the grill of my Apple car. I don't want to see that, man. It doesn't look right.
I think the whole logo thing is not the question. I think the question is, will it be called the iCar?
Oh no, I know it'll be called the Apple car. I'm pretty sure because remember they're moving away from the whole i thing. So the only thing left with the i is the iPhone. It's a very, very big brand, but like the iWatch is the Apple Watch, Apple TV, Apple Music,
right.
Apple everything.
Yeah.
So it will definitely be an
think,
Apple car of some description or Apple I don't know, man. But I don't want to see that, man. I don't want to see no Apple goddamn logo on my car. Jeez. It just doesn't look right. What will an Apple car look like?
Yeah, so I think as far as looks are concerned, I'm thinking very futuristic, kind of simple. Think lots of like aluminium details, lots of like white. Everything's very clean, very surgical. Yeah, very much. That's exactly what I'm seeing. You ain't getting nothing close to, your Paganis or your Koenigseggs, your art on wheels kind of category. No, I think it's just gonna look like something that's modern, functional, simple, That's Apple. That's how they do it. They build whatever they want to build, and then they take away 50% from the design to make it as simple as possible. Oh wow,
You know what, man? I think this is what Apple's gonna make. But you know what? I think, right, Apple is gonna make a sports car, a very luxurious sports car. I mean, that's what my heart wants them to make. I don't want to see this, man. Nobody needs to see this. I mean, like, this is terrible. I mean, like, seriously, if Apple makes this, man.
That looks like if a kid took a Hot Wheels car and put a loaf of bread over it and just squashed it.
Oh man, if Apple it's got Apple logo on the freaking face, it's got Apple logo on the wheels. Oh man, I don't want to see that. Let's see if there's anything that's like, none of this just makes me think like, oh yeah, I want it. It's like, no, I don't want to see any of that stuff. Let's see what could be a good design here. That looks interesting. It looks like an Apple mouse with wheels on it. But that could be very interesting looking.
Listen, I think we might have to get Alex in for another podcast for you to discuss the design part of it, because I think he'd have a lot to say.
Yeah, you know what? That's a very good idea. Maybe Apple should hire Alex to design their next car. That's what they should do.
Man, I think then it'd be five times more expensive. So let's not. They'll make it look so good. They'd be like, "There's no way we selling it for 100,000."
See, I don't want to see this. I mean, if Apple makes anything like this, so I can't see Apple doing that. Like you said, I think Apple's going to keep it very clean and very minimalist. I think Porsche is what my vision of what an Apple car could be like, because they're very clean and very purposeful, right? They don't have flares for no reason. The Taycan, yeah, but I think more of the classic, that Porsche shape, because Apple likes to distill everything. They don't want to have too many things on stuff. Their computers are like slabs. They're very clean and very, very simple, like very clean lines, right? Yeah. The iPhone is the same. So if they carry that same logic to an Apple car, I'm assuming there ain't gonna be too many crazy grooves, those stupid stuff. They're gonna be like really clean, minimalist kind of design. Is what I think they're gonna do. Yeah, like it will never look like this. Like, I don't know what this is. This is imagine it look like that. Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. Not even this. I can't see that. Then again,
see, I would think something similar to that.
Really?
Maybe something that looks even less like anything we have now. Because, like I said, when they go into a new segment of the market, they completely change the game. So it has to be something revolutionary. Did you see that concept video that some VFX artists made of an Apple car?
Nah. Have you got a link to it?
That was viral. That was everywhere. Like over the past couple months. How have I not seen that? Yeah.
Oh my God. God, no. Oh man. I don't want to see this. This is you see? You know what? I could literally see Apple doing something like this.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it looks silly now, but everything looks silly until someone makes it, right? And these kind of like 360 wheels and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, man, I wouldn't be surprised. Obviously, this guy has nothing to do with Apple, but it's just something to think about, right?
Huh. You know what? The car actually looks quite nice.
Yeah, I think it looks like a GTS. I think it's based on a AMG GTS.
Yeah, and I see a bit of Maserati on there as well. Yeah, I see what you mean. You know,
it has that AMG shape.
I don't know, man. Those wheels. I mean, what happens to alloys? I mean, I don't know. It's
there is no alloys. It's just a one big rubber ball, like one of those old mouses that we used to have when we were young.
Why am I thinking about Xbox when I see this? I don't know why. I just see Xbox.
You tell me. Maybe you really want to buy an Xbox.
Now I'm a PlayStation kind of guy, and I'm more about PlayStations. So so it's very interesting about the whole Apple thing. What we think Apple is gonna look like when they bring their car out. I don't know, man. It's like it's definitely an interesting topic to cover, and
Sure.
Part of me is excited about it. Part of me is like, nah, I don't know about it. It's like, yeah. When do you think the Apple car would arrive?
Man, if I had to guess, 2025.
Yeah.
That'd be my guess. Because when you think about it, you got to give them at least a couple years of like marketing to make sure there's enough hype for the car and things like that. So yeah, realistically,
The thing is, you
2024.
will not know
2025.
beforehand.
Yeah.
Apple ain't going to tell you that they're going to bring out a car until they do. So it's going to be one of those like one more thing events, I think. They're going to have like an event. I can just picture the future right now. Apple sends out a press invite with a very strange graphic. Maybe like 4 balls. And then climate control. or something. And then this thing, like an arm, like looking for a hole or something. It's gonna be like basically just open to all kinds of interpretation. You're like, what the hell am I looking at here? You got 4 balls, you got a parking bay, you got climate control, you got an arm, you got a hole. Special press invite.
I'm
That's what they're
picturing
gonna
all
do.
kinds of things, and none of them are good. So I don't know where you're going with this. There's balls. There's someone looking for a hole. There's an arm. I think it's getting late
Apple's
for you.
very, very. Apple's press invites are usually very interesting. They usually like make you think, what is going on here? They always like spark some kind of like imagination in your head to think, what could this event be about? Now the car event, oh my gosh, that's gonna be insane. I mean, how are they gonna like? What's the graphic gonna look like? What's it gonna say? And how are they gonna introduce it? Will it be like a public unveiling, or will it be like one of those crazy videos that they make when they unveil a new product during COVID?
I think they just send Supercar Blondie and then that's it.
Oh no! I don't want to sound. I don't want to sound bad. I love Supercar Blondie, but I think she'd be the wrong kind of person to introduce the Apple car, innit? Oh man.
No, I'm just messing with you. She's the one who's covering all these. Anytime I see her videos, it's always like some crazy concept that was like created 10 years ago and never produced. Nah, all love to everyone. We're not trying to put anyone down here. So it's all good.
Yeah,
fun.
Supercar Blondie, right? She has done amazingly well. She definitely found her niche, and she's doing very, 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 very well at it. But I don't want her to be like unveiling an Apple car in it. Nah.
What she does and her content is not my kind of content, but she's insane at what she does. Like she completely crushed the game.
Yeah. She's very like she's so sweet though. Like when I met her at Geneva, she's such a sweet, like she looks like she looks so innocent and so sweet. Like one of those people just can't help but smile at her. Like I can't imagine Supercar Blondie getting mad, or I cannot imagine getting mad at her.
I met her at Goodwood.
Do you know what I mean?
She's super cool.
Yeah,
100%.
She's very, 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 very sweet with that blonde hair and like her eyes and everything. Just seems so innocuous.
All right. I can tell you're getting carried away. Right, back to
not in that way. I'm just saying, right? She's a very lovely person. Like she just has a very nice demeanor about her, and it's hard. But she's like, it's hard to not like gravitate towards people like that because they just make you feel good about everything. Oh, seriously. Yeah. Oh. That's why I love her in that way. Oh. Okay. I don't want no one clipping no weird business here. Nah, she is so sweet, right? She's really, really nice. She'll make time to talk to you. She's just so what's a word I could use to describe her?
Well, you already said you love her. I don't think you can do anything else after that.
She is like a Thumbelina of the automotive space. She's just elegant and she's just sweet. Like she's like icing on a cake. That's what she's like.
Damn.
Yeah. She's a lovely person. It's like obviously, I don't know her that well. This is the impression I got of her when I met her, right? I just felt like, wow, she's just like how I imagined how she would be. Like so open and so floaty and so innocent and so very expressive. Yeah, like
Yeah,
that. You know how it is, man. It's the Rawkus way, innit? I like people like that. People who make everyone else feel good. I mean, sometimes when she talks about cars, I'll be like, but she has found a niche that has worked for her. She's very good at what she does, and that is what I appreciate, isn't it? I mean, like, you gotta appreciate that. Otherwise,
100%.
something's wrong with your heart. Otherwise, you have like a black heart, like a hole in your heart, and and you're a horrible person.
Yeah, don't point at me when you say shit like that. It makes me feel weird. Like, you're the horrible person. You should feel
I'm
bad.
innocent, all right? I'm innocent. Nah, I love to speak up Blondie, man.
You are innocent, yes, indeed.
Yes. Okay. All right, people. It is now the end of the show. Wow, wow, wow. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Take it easy. Peace out. Stay safe.
Peace.
And all that stuff. And we'll catch you on the next podcast. P to the O to the D to the C to the A to the S to the T.